right. Good evening and welcome again to Alibaba. Seriously, we'll reach out to you from NTA Lagos headquarters. It's very interesting to know that Baba Salah has passed on. But why I say it's very interesting is for you to know that this legend that passed on, had made way for people like us to come on and take over the scene. And he was a great comedian that must be remembered. And not just must be remembered, his legacy must not die. And so we'll continue to remember him on this show. I promise that we're putting a collection together. I met him only twice, and we're putting a collection together. There was one time Benga Denka organized a tribute to him, and then the other time I met him at the National Theatre. Those were the two times, all right? We'll celebrate him. Rest in peace, Baba Salah, our father in the comedy business, who's gone to rest. All right, by the way, Two-Face is coming on the show later on, and we also have Modukpe Ozolua, the philanthropist, woman is working. In fact, right now she's a queen of NGOs, as it were. We'll be talking to her. So beyond the beauty, she has a compassionate heart. We'll be talking to her, and she'll be on shortly. And we also will be talking to Efe Omorebe. Yeah, that's the master manager. I want to ask him a question. The question I'm going to ask him now is, why do artists leave sponsors? Why do they look for another sponsor? So you say, I don't find another sponsor. Why?
It's only for artists now. Comedians don't do that.
We died there.
And also we have Madam Lara Rawa.
Okay, Lara, the mixologist.
Yes, sir.
Mixologist. Lara is she can, if you have PDP result, APC result, she can mix all of it together and get accord party. She's a mixologist like that. Yeah. And she in fact, she's a science student.
Why is that mixologist? Jonathan started feeling challenged.
Is she working as? Is she one of us? All right. So, Your Excellency, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome. And then, yes, I said I was going to give a shout out to the Secretary to the Government of Federation, Boss Mustafa. If you're watching right now, sir, thank you so much for being one of our best viewers. And you have promised that you're going to be here before January. Is it January or Christmas, you said? We'll be looking forward to hosting you. And for all the other people that were... wait. Oshomole said he watches this show. And...
Never say hi to me.
He said he watches this show. And that everything that I've been saying on this show that he has been noticing, you know. But the day he will come on the show, we will need to use a lot of light. But
I'll be the one to interview.
Floodlight, you know, or we'll keep Modupe on one side and his wife on the other side, so everything will be bright. Yeah, welcome back again to Alibaba. Seriously, and I told you that I was going to bring my first guest on. You see, when they say that get your degree first before you begin to branch into other things, I can understand, I can relate with that, because I first went to the university and then entered stand-up comedy. So this lady is a certified bartender, a certified mixologist, a certified science student. And so she blends drinks. Basically, she blends drinks. So if it were not that she went to school, she would be selling okpain and agbo and what's the other thing? Monkey tea.
Okay, Shekwe as they
Yeah, you should know the names. Oh yeah, and what?
That was when okay, they call them Shekwe, they call them agbo. I know it's because I went to school too.
What? All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we will present Lara Rawa. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Okay, so this is a question that I always ask people who have deviated from what they read. How did your parents take the fact that after your call to bar, you were called to bar here? Okay, so how did they take it?
Well, they weren't happy about it at first because, I mean, they didn't understand how a lawyer who's gone through 5 years of law, gone to law school, did a master's in international business law, decided to put all that aside and then put all her focus and energy on bartending.
Okay. So how did you get into bartending?
Well, I think it's funny because I didn't see myself as an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I've always seen myself as a career person.
Sure.
And I was working, and then the company had its challenges, and we were told to stay at home for a while, and then they'll call us back. And at that point, it was quite difficult to get a job. But I knew I didn't want to work in a law firm.
Okay.
So while I was in that organization, I did different things. So I was very versatile. I was into events, and so I started doing events first.
Okay.
And then
Events planning.
Okay. I started doing that first. I planned a couple of events, and then I realized that, you know what, I really want to do something else. And I just thought about, oh, what about cocktails? I mean, you like to drink cocktails. You like to be at events. So why don't you, carve a niche for yourself in that industry? And that was how I started. I just spoke to someone. I'm like, look, I want to start.
What was the first drink you mixed?
The first drink I mixed was a strawberry daiquiri.
Meaning?
Yeah, it's a mixture of gentle alcohol with blended fruit juice. But you have to top it with a little bit of garnish or lemon accolade.
I'm not sure that's what I made.
Okay, that's all you made, Abby. Okay.
That's not what
so
I
how did you? What did you use?
So it was.
Simon Keith, will you behave yourself? Are you laughing at your colleague? What nonsense is that?
So it was strawberry puree with lemon juice and strawberry syrup and rum, garnished with strawberry.
Okay. See, that's all. I told you that you were wrong.
Yeah, the last you have said right.
Okay. And when you do this mix of drinks,
Yes.
who are your guinea pigs?
Well, I'll start with myself first. I mean, I have to taste it first. And then if I'm making something that is new that I haven't tried on, that I haven't made before, it will be my friends.
Okay.
And then I'll get feedback.
Okay.
Or sometimes it's my staff. I mean, we come up with it, we mix it, they taste it. If it's good, we serve it.
What drink has the highest alcoholic content that you've mixed before?
I think that'll be a Long Island iced tea.
Long Island.
Yes.
So when you've finished drinking it, you'll be looking at Victoria Island far.
Yes, you will. Because
Island again.
They say, you've been in Korea, they say, let's go to the island. Say, no. All right, so I see a lot of people, even when you mix cocktails for them, they say, can you add alcohol? Do you do that?
Yes, we do. But it depends.
I see somebody add alcohol to Chapman.
Yes, so they call it a dirty Chapman. So it depends on...
So their eyes won't be clean again?
No, their eyes won't be clean. That's dirty, so it's not clean.
Okay.
So, but the truth about it is it depends. So if I was working at an event, obviously they pre-order.
Okay.
So if the order doesn't have alcohol, I wouldn't serve. I mean, a lot of people, sometimes people say to me, oh, but you should sneak one in.
Okay.
I'm like, you know what, that's wrong. That's unethical.
Because
you shouldn't do that.
Okay.
Your client, obviously...
Your brief does not include alcohol.
Does not include alcohol. So it's wrong.
Okay, so let's do this. You're going to mix something for us here.
Yes, I am.
On the distance. So, as a science student, let me call you to bar here. Come. So you start with ice.
Yeah, so I want to... So ideally...
You know that when they put ice in glasses for Chapman, they cheat you. So when you're ordering, you say no ice at all.
Okay, so what I'm trying to make the glass a bit chilled. No.
Okay, this one is not...
No, this is a muddler.
This is a muddler?
Yes.
These are those things that they used to mix things on the African Magic. He will love you forever.
So muddler, bar spoon, earthen strainer. This is a julep strainer. I won't be using this.
This one is a strainer?
Yes, and this is my Boston shaker. So this is what I'm going to use to make the drinks.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
So.
Okay.
Okay. So the ice must be this much?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. Is that enough?
Yes, I'm measuring.
But we don't measure in Bayelsa. We don't measure. That's what the whole time. I want to always say time. That measurement is for communion. Yeah. 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 But this guy is like Jimmy Jato.
I'm giving it
Okay.
So now I'm just going to have a taste of my own creation to be sure it tastes good.
Director, you know the last time we had a taste of these things, the program nearly ended.
So now my glass is filled.
So now you want to do what?
So now I'm going to strain.
You're going to scream.
I'm going to strain it into the glass.
Okay, so filter it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, now I would ask, this one that you have mixed like this now, if it's in a bar, how much is this?
Well, it depends. Because I'm using a premium spirit, so this should be about 4,000.
Okay, this is about like this here is 4,000.
Yes.
How much is a bottle of Ogogoro? They drop a gallon of Ogogoro. They sell it for 2. All right, so
before you drink, this is NTA, Alibaba, seriously. Don't forget, okay, when you get back, it's not Oprah Winfrey.
And viewers, if you hear anything else after now, it's a joke. Don't take it serious.
let me tell you.
I don't want to announce INEC election results for 2019.
So, thank you. And so, what is this one called now?
So this is a vodka amaretto sour.
Okay, vodka amaretto sour. You see?
Drink it quick before it gets sour.
Yeah? Okay, before it gets more sour. Yeah. But this one that you put, this lime that you put down is dry.
It's orange, yes. So
okay, this is orange.
Yeah, I did.
So amaretto sour, orange flavor. All right, so come, let come back. So let's. All right, so
that was quick.
It's tasting like it has alcohol.
It has.
Okay, so how long does it take to become a mixologist?
Not too long. I mean, it depends.
You want to help me?
That's the wrong choice of candidate.
What can I say? It's another. It's another.
So, for me, it took a while though. For me,
okay,
because I'd been in the business for. So I learned about it. I was in business for like 3-4 years, and I took different courses. Yeah. So I went back, and then the last course I took was to become a master bartender.
Okay.
Which I did in Amsterdam. So with that, it was like a whole process. So it's almost like you get your LLB, you get your BL, then you get your LLM.
So there is a degree to this.
So that you have your beginners, you have intermediate.
Shouldn't they establish a school in Bayelsa?
Yes, they should. They should.
As youth service. They should do youth service in Bomadi, Patani. Yeah.
Just like.
All right then. Thank you so much. Good evening again and welcome. And all things bright and beautiful right now. I'm talking to an entrepreneur, but somebody with a heart of gold. And I've been part of a fundraiser that she did one time towards displaced people as well. And so today, I welcome Modupe Osoloa. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
All right. Beautiful to see you again.
I know, it's been ages.
Yes. How is it really? First of all, what are the problems that you encounter on the field?
Dealing with the reality.
Yes.
I think that's the biggest thing. You hear every day, we all know, in quotes, that people
Are displaced.
Displaced. Even generally, people are poor, people are sick, people are...
At the camp.
The camp and different places,
Okay.
generally speaking.
Doesn't have to be the camp.
Doesn't have to be the camp. But when you now go into these environments and these camps or communities, and the gravity of it, it's so... It's a shock. It's enormous. It's a shocker. That even if you were complaining, if you had any complaints yourself, you just be like, oh my God, God, thank you, forgive me, I'm grateful, I'm thankful. Yeah.
So it means that the picture that we actually get is not the reality of on ground.
Well, it depends on the picture you're getting.
Okay.
If you're talking about IDPs at
Yes, I'm talking, yes.
IDPs, I mean, there are different sizes of camps.
Okay.
Some, I mean, when you talk about camps, you're not talking about 200 people, you're talking about thousands, some of them 10s, 50, 60,000 people in a camp. So imagine the responsibility, even as a government, to take care of such, and that's just one location. There's
Okay.
so many locations. You
Okay.
have IDP camps at Damawa, Bornu, Bauchi, even in my state, and those states, there are camps all over the place. So imagine dealing with the magnitude of probably about 4-point-something billion people, feeding them, clothing them, taking care of their medical needs, and then you have personality issues going on. It's quite tasking.
Do you encounter bureaucracy in any of this?
It's always expected, but there always ways to manage that.
Okay.
And that's because there's so many players in the field. You're not sure those that are genuine and those that
Okay,
are not.
sure.
So everybody is, well, the government is wary of interactions with people, but at the same time, if someone is coming with good intentions, you still have to give them the opportunity to express
Okay.
that. But other than that, I know that the federal government and the state governments and other non-profits also in the same space
Okay.
are very supportive of each other.
So you've been an activist in this sector now for how long?
As a
Philanthropist, yeah.
It's been 15 years. Wow. You don't remember the
I don't remember the first one.
I know this man for 17 years. We've been friends for 17 years.
So no,
the very first one, you were part of it.
Yes, I was.
Yes.
Now, when you're doing this, and you encounter, of course, you would encounter these different dynamics, and you deal with them. What are your ambitions? What do you plan to achieve in the next 5 years in this sector? I know it's tough. I know it's tough. And funding is another question that I want you to answer. Funding is serious because you can't do some of these things. You just mentioned 4 million people. I organize events. Managing 1,000 people in a hall is crazy. And those are cultured people that have been brought together for a purpose. And these ones are displaced, and some of them don't even speak the same language,
Traumatized.
and they're traumatized. And so you have inflammable characters and behavioral patterns at that time. So how do you fund? What's your plan?
Next 5 years.
Just let me in.
Empower 54, that's
the name of the way, Empower 54.
Yes.
Okay. Why Empower 54?
You know, initially when we started, it was Beers Foundation.
Yes, Bears Foundation. Yes, that was over there.
Enhancement and
Yes.
But we changed it because our scope is much bigger than doing free surgeries
Sure.
for the privileged people. And we're working in several countries in Africa. I just came back from Democratic Republic of Congo last week. We're working in Congo. We just gave our medication to 620,000 children in the province that we're working. And we're about to go, we've started some little programs in Liberia right now. So in 5 years, it's like, oh wow, because there's so many other countries here about what we're doing that we want to get to, and those already reaching out to us, they come do something in our countries and things like that. But in relation to Nigeria, after we were part of the process that evacuated the malnourished children from Bama. I actually led that delegation with the military and the Borno State government into Bama to evacuate those children. And that process made me realize that we had to do a lot more than just evacuating children. So, and of course, when it comes to malnutrition or severe acute malnutrition, the solution is provision of RUTF. Which
not food.
It's a specialized food. It's a formulation of peanuts, powdered milk, sugar, some specialized vitamins, and it's within 3 weeks they're completely transformed.
Don't think I'm interrupting you. Malnutrition in children and malnutrition in politicians. Okay, so I don't think there's a. But you've seen. There's a picture on screen. This where's this? Congo.
Last week, yes.
Okay, so it looks like the flag of a country: black, white, black. Okay, so all right. So how did that go in Congo?
Oh, very well. There's a province that we are working in. It's called Maindombe. Initially,
the province in
we call it state. They call it province.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. So initially, we wanted to go to North Kivu. Because that's where all that, and I like all that drama, where they are talking bullets. I like sensitive places.
You went to the battlefront?
And no. That was the plan. But the governor of that province was informed. He was in Atlanta, where my head office is. And we got to meet, and he lobbied that before I went to North Kivu, I should come to his province. So I was in Kinshasa, and I went to his province. And
do you wear body armor? Do you wear? So you go like this?
Well, not like this. T-shirt, jeans, baseball cap, yes, sneakers. You know, there's some places that you close one eye when you're sleeping. In case you hear palm, you take off.
Which kind of hat, man? You just you the bravo. And you wake up in the morning and you stay for 2-3 days.
Longer than that.
Okay. So he said you should come to his province.
Yes. So
there's another picture now. Which one is this?
Well, that was Edo State. That was in August. We gave out, we have medication, albendazole, vitamin A, and prenatal vitamins for 270,000 children and women in Edo State. So in
is there a condition that requires it?
No, well, specific age group to benefit from it. Children between ages of 6 months to 5 years. And then any woman is pregnant. And
failure to get that, what was the consequence?
It's actually, children get really sick because it's actually a national program, actually a global program. Children should be taking the albendazole and vitamin A twice a year, every 6 months apart. Albendazole helps with issues of worm, so especially rural places, they really need that. Vitamin A helps with the prevention of malnutrition, stuntness. It helps with development of the eyes. So it's very critical, especially in that developmental stage. So we in Edo, we have for 270,000 children. So the first phase we gave to 15,000 children and women. But we also have the same, is in partnership with one of our partners, Vitamin Angels. So we have the same commodities for several other states in Nigeria. So we just did the...
How do they embrace this? Are they welcoming you? Are they inviting you? Because states should actually be like, oh, please come to our state, come to our state.
Oh, yes. Because... it's just like even Nigeria, even in Congo too, the same thing happened. In Nigeria, the federal government will give to the states. NGOs would give. But sometimes they don't have enough commodities to cover the percentage. So there's a lapse. So when people like us come in and we bring extra commodities, we do fill in that gap. So for example, in Maindombe, where we just came from, the government had given them commodities for children for 25% of the population. So 75% was just that. So when we came, we gave them much more than they needed. So we're able to fill in that need.
So what, in rounding up, what would you require partnership on, and how do you want to, in rounding up?
We've started a small-scale production of RUTF.
Okay.
So we certainly need funding, donations, partnership, and things to be able to produce. The plan is to produce in Nigeria and give out for free.
All right.
And partnership comes in different forms.
Okay.
The different organizations that can give
Cash.
Cash is important. Non-perishable foods and things. So we combine that and give it to the children at the same time.
Beautiful. All right. So you've heard that, and the message is going to be posted on Alibaba seriously, and we'll continue to spread that information to you. Check my page on Instagram. I'll get a lot of information from her and post them so you can help and get in touch with her. Thank you, Modupe. Thank you so much. So next, I mentioned that I was going to talk about artists. I want to talk about the problem that has become a staple. A lot of artists join a label, and as soon as money begins to come in, they now want everything. They forget that investment had not been recouped. They forget that, and then I think the influence is the reason they now want to get out of their contract. But I'll be talking to an expert, Efe Omoribe. He's an award-winning artist manager, award-winning promoter, and he's been in the music industry for a while. And I'll still talk about his co-son angle as well. So he fights for the rights of the musician, packages them, manages them, promotes them, and so this is his field. Efe,
hi.
Thank you so much for coming.
A pleasure.
All right. First thing, why do artists who are signed on a label have problems with record labels? Why?
Usually, people don't read their contract carefully.
Okay. They should hire somebody to read the contract.
People don't read their contracts. People get into business relationships. In short, first and foremost, the people don't even have spelled out contracts.
Okay.
Then when they have contracts, they don't read it properly. And when they read it properly, because we don't have enough legal precedents of people getting into trouble for breach of contract, there's really no deterrent. So people get into contract with the mindset that once I blow, I could just arrange myself, I could just, whatever. So the key problem we have is that entertainment education, proper grounding. We have a lot of talent. Our industry is built on talent and passion, but very little education and structure and grooming. Okay. If you're a child prodigy, say in Sweden, in the UK, in the US, for example, your talent is noticed at age 10, age 8. There's a process. They put you through school. You hone your skills as a pianist, as a dancer, as a singer, but you're also exposed to some kind of full-body training. So you have an understanding that this is business. You have an understanding. So, for example, it's very hard to find people in the States or in the UK who are full-time up-and-coming artists.
Okay.
Right? You do your day job. You work somewhere. You're a trainee. You're something. Then you're singing on the side until your career takes off.
Until you blow.
Yes, until it takes off. Then you're saying, okay, do I leave my day job or do I quit? Okay. Here, you see people who, straight out of secondary school, this is what you want to say, I'm an artist, I want to sing.
I'm a rapper.
Yeah, I'm a rapper. What do you do? Besides, no, I'm just a rapper. He can't keep a job. He's not in school. He just wants to rap. He doesn't want to do anything else.
He just wants to blow. He just wants to blow. All right, so, but when they now have this conflict of interest, the artist wants to break away, the record label owner wants him to fulfill his part of the contract, how do you get to resolve all of this? How do you get to resolve all of this?
A lot of times, you resolve it by just letting it go. A lot of times.
Okay, let me come there. You say a lot of times you just let it go. When a record label signs on an artist, from getting accommodation, let's put that at 5 million. If it's a 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, anywhere, whether mainland or island or Lekki, that's 5 million. You put a generator in the place. You're going to put a cable satellite in the place as well. You furnish the apartment. You put a car and probably get a driver.
You've not started funding content.
Exactly. So you probably just end up, you spent about like 20.
You've not started funding talent development.
So you're just first making the artist comfortable.
Yes.
So that's about like 20M gone.
Yes.
Then you now begin to pay for sessions, studios, and all of that stuff, and then produce music, shoot music video.
Record,
another 10, Abi?
Content packaging, content promotion, right? There are all these different layers. You have to put it all together to support the talent for it to, for him to be a business, for it to be a viable business.
Yes, okay.
Now, when you're doing all of that, typical talent, humble, bros, man, bros, Mr. Bros. Then bang,
he blows.
And all
then
of a sudden,
how far?
Yeah, all of a sudden he's sitting there thinking, I wrote the song, I performed the song, I'm the one that people are screaming for, and I'm getting paid $1 million. So why is this guy taking 400K? Why is he taking 500K? Why is he taking 250, 25%? I'm the guy who's singing, I'm the guy who's performing. It's totally
forgotten about every other thing that was spent.
Before you got to a point where you could earn $1 million. Now, but again, for me, even the biggest problem is not even the financial investment. You can lose money, right? You can lose money and make money.
Okay.
You can lose money and make more money. What you cannot make back is time.
Okay.
Right. And
time that was invested in promoting the person.
Just invested. When you're growing talent, you should have a clue.
Okay.
When you're growing talent, you are at times you are father, you are body,
everything rolled into one.
You're a psychoanalyst.
You're a bouncer.
You give so much of you.
And psychologist too sometimes.
I see you're a psychoanalyst. You know what you're psychologist? You first forget the artist has issues. The artist has issues connecting with reality. They have issues dealing with sometimes you're managing a talent. But the real problem is get the artist focused enough to be productive. And what you're dealing with, getting the artist focused enough to be productive, is probably something in their personal life, like their mom is ill. Like, he or she is heartbroken.
Okay.
Some guy will, dump her or something. So, and
he has beef with one other person.
You understand? This got nothing to do with writing, recording, performing.
But it will affect.
But if you don't clean all that up,
the
person is just there, like vegetable, it's not productive.
That's where Koson.
So
Koson was collecting the money for the people.
Supposed to be collecting money for the people.
Koson was meant to collect the money for the people. I think now needed to be politically correct. So we're meant to collect the money for the people. And then right now the issues are that either some of the artists are not getting the monies or it's not properly managed.
Set up, basically collect, distribute. That's what the Collect Society does. You collect on behalf of owners, and you distribute. You're allowed maybe 30%, maybe 25%
of what you have collected
for administration. Right? And that has not worked as well as it ought to work. Because
which is why the issues are going on.
Not directly, because we are needed to onboard proper. Sometimes in years past, we received funds, monies from right users who have not given us the logs, the right, logs. So you have money, but to do the due diligence split is difficult because there's no documentation to say of the stuff that we use.
This was
a portion to this,
whatever.
This
was 34 times. So they just give you a lump sum.
And nobody gives you a log. We've actually been to court. We've actually sued some right users, not because they didn't pay, but because they paid and they didn't supply the log. It makes it very clumsy now. But we'll be making steady progress in terms of fixing all of that. However, the issues we're having were basically issues of how the internal system is organized.
Of the collective society.
Yes. A bunch of us were unhappy with the management of the process, and we basically wanted a resolution. Ask questions. And we asked questions, and and
you didn't get the right answers.
No, we didn't get any answers.
Any answers is different from right.
No, we didn't get any answers. We asked questions, and instead of we first and foremost sitting in a board meeting, dealing with a petition written by our founding fathers, some of our most senior respected right owners, people like Chief Ebenezer Obey, people like Mr. Toje Joechi, people like Mr. Laolo Ekins, they wrote a petition
that needed to be addressed.
Yes, and copied the regulator. So we're sitting, 10 of us in a board meeting, faced barrel, to the head, like answer, to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. Well, okay, maybe 8 or 9 of us don't know much about this. Okay, the guy who knows stuff about this, what
happened?
Right? And instead of addressing the issues, you get this
around the
long ramble talk about, how
so that's
Mungo Park, came in
right
with
now.
the Landa brothers, and after Landa brothers come, they can see one babe, the babe can say her name.
Wait now. Okay, we'll round up now with your role in voter awareness.
Yes.
Okay, you organize a concert to promote.
We do a lot. I worked with the Alibaba Foundation and partners, NDI, YDI, a bunch of. I work with support EIE. Because
voter education.
Voter education is even beyond voter education. Over the last, since I've been actively involved since 2011. Okay. Pushing funds, pushing time.
We're coming to you shortly.
Right?
We're coming to you. So hope our drinks are all ready, okay? Okay.
Putting funds, putting time, dealing with young people, engaging with them, trying to get them to a place where they embrace the reality of the fact that if Nigeria is to work, they would have to roll out their sleeves and do the dirty, right? So voter engagement, involvement is one of a lot of other things that we've done. But more actively, we've been involved in trying to get people to register, trying to get them to vote, trying to get them to select properly, to protect their votes, trying to get them to hold the politicians accountable.
Okay. The funny thing is that what you're trying to educate people of is what would make the work of Modupe Zolua easy. Yeah? Because she won't, if everything works well, there will be no IDP camps.
Yeah.
And so she will not be that stressed with it. Thank you so much. We will be talking to the legend, Tu Baba. Right now, I'm bringing someone, legendary status in the entertainment industry starts from 15 years. And not just 15 years, it must be 15 years of quality contribution to the entertainment sector. And this guy is climbing to 25 right now. So please help me welcome on stage Onto Alo Alo, Two-Face Idibia, Tu Baba. Onto Alo Alo. Sit down, leave woman. You greet our own men like that. Sit down. All right. This your leg, not bad.
Well, should I say what it is?
What is it?
Ferragamo.
It's really lovely.
But Ferragamo from Ojo Elegba side.
All right. So now, in all of this, you've started a family. You, a beautiful actress. What's the wife's name? Annie Dibia. Wonderful actress that appeared in the music video.
How you don't know my wife's name? Where Ali boss get to ask you.
No, boss, I'm not before you did you.
Even before Instagram.
Are you kidding me?
All right, so you used that in a music video, African Queen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now there's another video that you just showed. This Amaka disappoints me.
Yes.
So I was asking who shot this video.
Unlimited LA.
Unlimited LA.
No, sir, was it shot here? Unlimited at the.
Okay. Was it shot in Nigeria?
Yeah, it was shot in Lagos. Yeah, Nigeria.
Okay. So you don't go to South Africa to shoot your movies, your music videos, or it depends. You shot one in Kenya when we traveled.
Yeah. I mean, but many times have they accused artists of going to South Africa to shoot. It's not like we really want to go to South Africa. They shoot for here, but many people, if they see quality, they will just associate and say, okay, outside.
And then some people will shoot here, then say outside, then they
some people will do that as well, you understand what I'm saying? Just to...
Where did we go? Was it Kenya that we went here? That you did the stuff with South Soul.
And that one was because that was the perfect, time to have everybody at the same place.
Okay.
And we just did it there, and we were doing
the Buck Wild.
Yes. The Disruption.
Yeah, what's the title of this Buck Wild edition?
This one is The Power of One.
Power of One. What's the story behind it?
This one is tied to a movie actually, and The Power of One is just, if you want to leave it self-explanatory, the power of one, everybody has the capability to do something and make an impact. Every single human being has the power to start something and make an impact, you know, and it only depends on when you start second-guessing yourself or doubting yourself or believing that, my vote no go count, my effort no go work.
Then go still rig the election, so no need.
Yeah, that's when you start, you know, but in the actual sense of it, you can actually make something happen.
We need to make something happen. We need to make something happen. I like what you're doing. You're using your power as a celebrity and an icon and pushing the envelope for voter awareness and with better this thing. What do you think about the medical field? Because you and I have also talked about something. I'll lay this out. My mom was walking down the street in Ughelli, and a bike ran her into the gutter. Her knee got broken, and I sent money for it to be treated, and they were treating it, and they felt like the money was too much to be given to one person for treatment, so they took it to a local place to tie. And after a while, the leg was getting so bad, they brought her to Lagos, and when we went to one hospital, the first thing they said was, we have to cut it. So we're like, well, check. He said, I know that he can touch it, and when he's feeling it, that he has to. So told my mom that she should just go and spend time with your children. Let them see that, the grandchildren, let them see that your leg is okay. Until an Indian doctor saw her and said, why are you limping, ma? He said, oh, we went to ShopRite. He said, oh, no, she had an accident. And I said, let me see. The man checked it. I said, oh, it's something you can treat, and gave us a number to call. We called the person, and the man said, send us an x-ray. Send an x-ray. And the man said, oh, that shouldn't take long. 1 month or so, it will be done. Now, I'm bringing that home because of your daughter.
Wow. Wow, okay.
How did that go?
Wow, it's a similar story. I will break it down in this level. There are so many things that can be handled and corrected. Sometimes, even the doctors, they have to see, because doctor different from people, they do the x-ray and the check.
Okay.
So sometimes we have ill-equipped hospitals, but we have qualified doctors.
Okay. So they don't have tools to work with.
But now, a qualified doctor and an ill-equipped hospital, the qualified doctor that can even actually do this stuff, if they do the old school x-ray, now the old school
results they go
thinking go see, then that old school prescription go drop.
Okay.
You know, so I think many times it's you know, I'm very sure even the beautiful Modupe right here, she has had experience with very, very ill-equipped hospitals.
If you want to just talk, leave this wait, what is it? We know say she's beautiful. So
okay. But I must still join them. You know, say, Alibaba, you know, say, we don't dey crush.
See, so you were talking about the prescription.
Okay, sorry. But we have to be careful before they talk say it's sexual harassment on TV or something.
No. She's okay. All right. So now, your daughter had the
blondes.
Okay.
It just be different type of
like bow leg.
You have rickets. You have blondes. You have I don't know all the medical terms, you know, but you know, blondes is the upgraded version of rickets, Abi.
Okay.
Abi?
Yes.
Yeah. You know, and
the 4G of
you know, and you know, we did a surgery in Nigeria, but you know, somehow, one of the leg was corrected, the other one wasn't. Okay. So we had to now go to Dubai.
Okay. And it was corrected in Dubai.
Yes. But the correction in Dubai wasn't as drastic as the one in Nigeria.
So she went through a lot more pain.
Yes, she went through a lot more pain in Nigeria. But the one in Dubai is the one that this same thing, they didn't need to have done that harsh one. They would have just done the one in Dubai. We did it. She went to the hospital today. We did the operation
so the one
today.
in Nigeria was manual.
We did the operation today.
Analog.
She was discharged the next day. And then when she was discharged the next day she is walking normal.
She was walking normal with the leg.
It's just one tiny.
You know it happens with childbirth too in Nigeria.
Just tiny thing. So
you
now
don't want to
she
start.
will just grow.
You don't want to start. You don't want to start. Remember a few years ago, pulled you into this preterm babies, little big soul stuff.
Okay.
Remember?
Yes, I remember.
The number of preterm kids we lose in Nigeria is probably world record in terms of the number.
Need incubators.
Yes, the kids we lose because of
just like that.
The kids we lose. The kids we lose because of gloves, because of hand gloves
and hygiene.
It's incredible.
I know we have.
But I must stress this fact: it's not the doctors that we lack.
We have the doctors. What they need tools. They need tools.
I beg to disagree. If you know, we lack everything that we need to have in place.
We have doctors. We don't have tools.
We have doctors.
It is the organization that we lack.
Attending what schools?
The organization,
training.
The packaging of the training.
Attending what schools? Getting what quality?
We have a caller from Benue State. Hello, caller. Oh my, this man wants to give me stress. I'll disappoint you. Hello. I stopped Efe from talking. He will not.
No, but you understand where I'm coming from, Efe. But me and you, we are forgetter. You know we are forgetter.
No, you speak for yourself. I speak for myself.
But we are still forgetter.
I know people in Nigeria who have they go to
minor issue and then it becomes aggravated.
So automatically you are saying we don't have.
What I'm saying,
people.
What I'm saying to you is
we have qualified people. What we are lacking is the management.
The people that are qualified. The people that are what system? How did they get their qualification? What quality of schools did they attend? What quality of
for that? No, let me put this to rest. I agree with him, and I mentioned the name of the school. I went to Surulere, and somebody said, "Oh, my sister is ill. Let's go and check her up." In Lut, we went and they were writing an exam, and people were running from inside the hall and opening their car boot and copying the answers and running back inside the exam hall.
See, bros, why I said what I said is it's dangerous to just say we don't, even the school, the people, the whatever.
Okay,
it's dangerous because we have qualified people. And what happens? They run away. They leave the shores of Nigeria.
But you can't argue that.
We have
the people that are qualified. They go out and do well.
We don't have the organization. We don't have the general packaging. We don't have the structure.
Okay.
That is just the problem.
Alibaba,
if it's up.
May I think it's a combination of both.
Okay.
Both men are right. We do have, because, for medical missions, I will be doing that for many years, so I have worked with a lot of indigenous doctors in Nigeria and foreign doctors.
Okay.
And I have to say, I have met some of the most amazing doctors and they're Nigerians, here in Nigeria, saving lives.
Okay.
There are some procedures that Nigerian doctors handle, VVF repairs,
with very little.
With the little, that even the foreign doctors that come in to volunteer have no idea. They're like, oh my God, how'd you do this? Give them toothpicks and they save lives. We barely anything, but I have the foreign ones come to like, where is this? Where is that? This, I can work with this. So we have little, not much. Some places have more than others. Some facilities have more than others.
Sure.
But it's the ability to make the most out of what you don't have. And like you said, it also affects the fact that when you have so little, you really cannot advance yourself in your skills. So you now have that disparity going on.
Okay. And which is the same thing that so okay. So we have to get our drinks now.
Like I play the political side, so I go even agree with them too.
Okay. So what will be the political side?
My brother, you got many people who enter doctor school who no get any business to enter doctor school.
They just enter.
They are supposed to be patient.
My director and the producer, they are laughing inside it. Okay, let's have our drinks now. Let's have our drinks.
This guy, he don't cancel.
No, you know where. No, man.
This is yours, no?
Oh my God! You are supposed to be patient.
said he would drink alcohol.
You take alcohol?
You drink alcohol?
Yeah.
They're supposed to be patient.
I'm pretty sure they're supposed to go.
When they go medical school.
You good? All right, so let's toast to Super Eagles. All right. Buck Wild and Breathless is what date?
October 20th.
20th of this
This
month.
weekend,
This weekend is coming. Buck
next
Wild
weekend, yeah.
Buck Wild and Breathless is happening, and this edition is called the Power of One.
Yeah.
All right, and it's happening at Eco Hotel. Eco
Yes,
Hotel.
Eco Hotel.
Tickets.
7 p.m.
Tickets.
$5,000 regular, 20 grand VIP, 1 million naira
Different
silver
tables.
table,
And then there's
1.5 million.
one table for 3 million.
Yes,
Yes,
platinum
table
table
for
3
Platinum.
million.
And it's a Power of One. It's happening at the
And all the free tickets are, all the slots of free
You have
tickets
not
are
drank
taken.
anything. You are staggering.
All the slots of free tickets are taken, so we don't have any free tickets left.
Okay, so you will not even give tickets to somebody that you have a crush on.
Of course, I know. Of course, that one has special tickets.
All right. So
Make I get them.
Igalo.
I go play something for you now. Campari dey inside.
Okay, you know he rocks rumors, so he knows all these things. All right, so Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, we want to toast to the Super Eagles for beating Libya. They can't be treating our people anyhow in Libya. And people will not retaliate. 4-0 before one.
4-0.
4-0.
That's 4 slaves.
4 slaves.
See 4 slaves.
12 years and a slave. All right. Cheers to Super Eagles and Igalo. Welcome back to Igalo. Igalo, he lost penalties those days now, but now he's made up. Right?
He's achieving his goals in life though.
All right, thank you so much.
And happy birthday to me.
Nana.